She said, yeah, well, you're a public figure, so you probably should just pay them and get it over with. That's crazy. How am I gonna pay? How am I gonna pay to make something go away that's already out there?
I don't hear nobody out there. Hold it down. Hold it down.
So we done already established that Eve ain't gonna give us nothing. Child, we finna get into this sex tape girl. And if she ain't say Stevie J name in the last episode where she was talking about Stevie J, or she was not talking about Stevie J but was talking about Stevie J, she about to continue not talking about the Stevie J. This was not how I wanted to see myself on the internet. Even worse, today, that 30-second clip of me leaked online, it was like every news outlet was talking about it. I briefly became a headline. A DJ from one of the big radio stations was the first to call me and tell me about it. And that's when I went online and saw what was happening. The stories referenced my past relationship, which I didn't ever want to think about again. I think it's a lot of shame with Eve in that relationship. It's okay, because we've all been in relationships where we've done some shameful things. And I think one of them was making Suge Knight think that he had a chance at getting some of that vagina. I was embarrassed and I was hurt. I was in another relationship by then, yet there I was with my ex on full display. It was one of the most violating feelings that I have ever experienced, and it made me sick to my stomach. I already had my suspicion about who'd leaked it, but I didn't want revenge. I wanted answers, okay? So some people say that it was the Stebby J who leaked it. And with all this Puffy stuff going on, I'm inclined to believe that Puffy was associated with that tape some way or another. I feel like all three of them was getting whatever it was they was getting that day. And Puffy said, let me be your director. Y'all look real sexy together. Let me use this opportunity. Even Stebby J said, okay, let's get with it. That the vengeance of two Scorpio men together released that tape. Hey, Diddy, do you still got that tape? You do? Let me see that right quick. I hired a private investigator, one who I knew had some connections in the adult film industry. He had access to some of the people who ran the major websites, especially ones where celebrity sex tapes were uploaded. Pause in the draws. Do y'all remember when Stevie J's baby mama that was around there to the Love and Hip Hop? Let's not forget when Mimi said that someone leaked her sex tape, but yet and still it was different camera angles. Now let us segue into this. Sometimes the celebrities leak the tapes themselves. Other times they were passed off and leaked by another person, usually someone they knew. Sadly, I most definitely didn't leak a clip of myself, but with one of the websites, the investigator was able to check with the site owner to find the name of the person who'd passed the original clip off and had it uploaded. When he called me with the name of the person, it was exactly who I thought it was. Again, she's not giving us no names, but I can guarantee you It was the Diddy. The person's full government name was listed right there as the owner, and I will leave it at that. Why you so scary, girl? Why you so scary? I was so disgusted. It was filmed 7 years prior, right around the time that I had my nervous breakdown. Even though it was less than a minute long, it brought me back to the terrible time in my life. It was triggering, to say the least. It gets harder and harder to contain something on adult sites once it's out there, though. So by the time I really launched an investigation, the clip had already been passed off to someone else who kept it moving like wildfire. Kind of like that damn Robert tape. Within a week of the clip leaking, I got a call out of the blue from an infamous mob wife. Somehow the clip had landed in her lap. She said to me, "I can make this disappear for you." I was a little scared, but a little intrigued too. She asked me to come see her in New York. This wasn't an ultimatum or anything, but I knew I couldn't just be like, "Nah, no thanks." So I agreed to it. When I called my friend in the industry and told him, he was like, "Oh, hell no. You're not going there alone. I'm pulling up too." I've always been lucky to have good guys like that around me who always wanted to protect me. So then we both headed to this restaurant in the city to see her. About a week after that, I got a call from mob wife again. She said to me, "You know, in my experience, it's just better to pay these people. If you pay them, it'll probably just go away." I said to her, "Really? Why should I pay them? I didn't think I should be paying them any money." She said, "Yeah, well, you're a public figure, so you probably should just pay them and get it over with." That's crazy. How am I going to pay? How am I going to pay to make something go away that's already out there? That's crazy. Like, okay, you can kind of scrub the internet, but what about the people that already downloaded it? When I told the man I was involved with at the time, he said the same thing. "Yeah, just pay them. It'll go away." Nah, just wait till next week and it'll go away. Somebody else's sex tape will drop. Part of me felt like since he was high profile, he just didn't want the news to travel. But whatever, I didn't think I owed anyone anything. I told Troy the whole story, and he said, "Man, F that shiz. We don't have to pay anybody." Exactly. I ain't paying nobody for something that's already out there. What they gonna do? To go to everybody's house, knock on the door, and be like, "Hey, you got that Debbie J and Eve sex tape? Let me get that." So weeks later, we got the cops involved who brought the FBI into the investigation. They arranged this payoff to the man holding the footage and made sure it crossed state lines from New York to New Jersey to make it a federal case. After the pickup of the so-called payment was arranged, the man was arrested, and that was the end of that. How? Can you still find that shit on the internet? It wasn't just that the clip leaked. It was the timing of when it happened. I was acting in all of these projects, and I was just getting my clothing line off the ground. Why then? Fetish, my clothing line, was something that definitely made sense to launch in the middle of my acting career, especially with the role I was playing on TV. My character, Shelley, was a fashion designer on Eve, and I really had always wanted to have a clothing line. Troy first brought it to the table as another part of my longevity plan, and I loved it. But like with everything else, I needed to fully know what I was getting into. I had to know everything about the process, and I had to speak with people who already did it and had had success doing it. I knew I had to go all in or else it wouldn't work. So anyway, she called the two biggest snakes in the business. That damn Sean John, Puffy, Diddy. I'm like, why did you call the man that leaked the fucking tape? But okay. Jay-Z, because he had that rocker wear. She called Kamora Lee. J-Lo. She's trying to call all the people who have, at the time, successful lives. But it ain't work out for her. It had been years since we were all in a room together, let alone standing side by side on stage as a whole Rough Riders family. And yet, there we all were at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn on April 25th, 2021. Reunited at last.
Hollywood.